I'm arriving here with wonderings and hoping that we will find out together what is going on anyway. Yesterday was a huge day for our small community. The neighboring town of Searsmont had a fire and an explosion at the lumber mill at Robbins Lumber. And it was really scary. Today is the new moon, and it's beautiful outside. And it's a day of considering our losses and feeling really grateful for what's left. Our oldest was at the fire. He's a firefighter, first responder, and he was there. So it was a particularly scary day. And now we are settling into the new moon, which I was quite looking forward to. A new moon in Taurus has the possibility of lots of gracious gifts arriving easily. So let's see what this is all about for us as we reach into the unknown together to find out what is going on anyway. Yesterday, I happened to be in my neighbor's barn, walking through, and the windows have a view towards the northwest. I was there with Jason, and we noticed a plume of smoke coming from the direction of Robbins Lumber, which is not very far from us, a couple of miles. About a half an hour before that, I said goodbye to Noah as he got a call for a fire in Searsmont. And as we sat there and watched the fire, the smoke very dark and going really high into the sky, we got a text from Noah that said, "I'm okay. All of the Appleton crew is okay." This is highly unusual. He goes to fires all the time, and I don't hear from him until afterward. And then even more frighteningly, a few minutes after that, he texted, "I love you." Watching from this distance, which was approximately the same distance I was from the towers on 9/11, brought back all kinds of unresolved feelings of trauma, watching something terrible happen and not being able to do anything. And then half an hour after that, of course, completely grateful that Noah's okay. But after he said he's okay, we keep hearing explosions from that direction. I don't know why I'm telling the story. I think just to offload it from my nervous system. After that, I got a notification that my class, my online class, The Art and Science of Being Human, that's something that I recommend. I will link details about it in the show notes because anybody can take this online class and participate in this community. And it really is about staying grounded, finding your wholeness no matter what is happening around you. So I made the decision in that moment to join the class. And for the next hour, I shared what was going on and we talked, and together collectively, I could feel my nervous system relaxing, grounding, and being available not to make anything go away, but to feel what I was feeling. Towards the end of the class, there was a beautiful downfall of rain. It was like a cloud burst. And it felt like the work that we had been doing in that group, and probably so many people sending love, thoughts, and prayers to this incident. It felt like a blessing from the sky. I don't know how these things work, and I'm not saying that's for sure connected, but the feeling was connected. the feeling of deliberately grounding into high intensity situation. I wanted to say situations, but it was just a situation. Sharing it, not trying to hide or mask my anxiety and fear, and then letting this group of people help me feel better and letting myself help me feel better. It was big. And maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's the wisdom of this new moon. It's not the big something new. It's not the big something new moon. It's the what's right in front of you, what's available here, and what is already here with you, which is a huge, great gift. There's a picture that I'm now seeing of a wholeness, a centeredness. And this is part of the work in this group, the Art and Science of Healing from Within. It might have, in the early days, been called Being Human. It's called the Art and Science of Healing from Within. And again, I will link this masterclass. I'd love you to join me there. Honestly, we meet every 2 weeks online, and it's been an incredible way of practicing what I wish for in the world. That's my plug. Dr. J.C. Goddard. Thank you. So despite the fear and anxiety that I felt yesterday, I was focusing my attention on a thing that was a wholeness and a bigger picture. And that way of focusing gave me a sense of calm that wasn't bypassing. So I wasn't pretending I was okay. I was feeling my not okayness along with a wholeness that was okay. So like 2 layers working together. And last podcast, I alluded to time travel without really going into any specifics. But this is sort of what I'm talking about. Can we be with a wholeness that's absolutely okay with the all that is, that's okay with the totality of one's life? I imagine this part of myself at the end of my life that says, wow, that was a good ride. Wow, that was something, wasn't it? And feels satisfaction. And that part of me that feels satisfaction with all the pieces coming together to make a whole life, I borrow that feeling. That's what I'm talking about by time traveling. I'm borrowing that feeling and bringing it into this one specific time that I feel really shaky. And I'm having those 2 things make a song together. And can you imagine using that ability that I'm calling time travel to use your life like a musical instrument? And when you feel one particular shaky tone, and then you balance it with some other whole tones that feel steady and deep and strong, that you actually make some beautiful music with your life, that you can feel what you need to feel in this moment and align it with your wholeness so that you can really be here with your sadness and your grief and your anxiety and your fear, and balance it. Not make it go away, absolutely not make it go away, but balance it so that you can be an expressive instrument of the truth, like the truth. I was having this really funny conversation with my mom yesterday where we were playing on words, and she was talking about how through her life she started to realize things that she didn't understand before, seeing it with what she's calling her real eyes. So her real eyes, blink, blink, open up, and she realizes a kind of truth that she hasn't seen before. I think that's a little bit what I'm talking about here. That play on words. I realize the truth by using and seeing through my real eyes. Anyway, we had a lot of fun with it, as you can imagine. And that is the same sort of feeling about borrowing different places in our life. I sometimes borrow the innocence and the curiosity and the joy of being too young to be socialized to this world. And I borrow that in my art making and my creativity. I borrow that innocence and I bring it into this moment. And I also borrow a place in my life where I feel complete. And of course, I know I'm assuming that will happen, but I am assuming that will happen. So I therefore can borrow that feeling tone and bring it into this moment now. So I think what I'm trying to point towards is this belief in a wholeness that wants to, I want to say, sing through each moment and have the particularities of each moment, each drama that we have in our life be fully expressed. I'm kind of putting a judgment on it, like saying it was even more beautiful with all the tones coming through, all the colors coming through. But it might not be more beautiful. It might be more tragic. It might be more intense. But there's something about seeing your whole life through every moment. When I'm imagining this right now, I really see like a human being inside of a big cocoon. And the cocoon includes every experience. And the human being is kind of like a light body, like an energetic form inside of a cocoon of the totality of that expression of the all that is. That particular expression of God that you are is so unique, absolutely snowflake unique. No one else like you. And you get to be that. Ah, that's what this new moon is. The great gift is that you get to be you. You get to be different than everyone else. And I am going to imagine right in this moment that I'm talking back to my younger self that wanted more than anything else to be normal, invisible, unseen, to blend in. And I was so much not that. I'm thinking of teenage years. And so I'm talking back to that teenager right now and saying the real joy here is that you get to be the unique expression. There's nobody like you. And that is the most special experience of acknowledging that, recognizing that, and finding joy in mixing around with all of the other unique beings that you might bump into along the way. So I think the joy of this moment is feeling into that wholeness and letting it be your lifeboat, letting it be the raft that gives you some buoyancy in the hard times. Noah came home to me last night, and I'm so grateful. I know, I could feel that file folder of parents who don't get to have their kids come home at the end of tragedies, I had to go sit by the water and cry for that. I don't want to be in that file folder, but I could feel so close to it that all my feelings were open to that kind of grief. And somehow, even though he was in the explosion yesterday, he had all his gear on and came out of it with a very couple of minor burns. And I don't know what kind of story, we all tell stories about why and how someone might be protected where someone else is not. And I don't even think it's useful to spend very much time there, but I'm just really, really grateful. Oh, okay. I just took a minute there. I had to sob, and I'm going to give you this little hint in case you've never heard it before, but someone was advising me once and said that when your body goes into sobbing tears, that really often there will be a yawn, and that yawn helps complete that release. So if you notice that, if something sends you into sobbing tears, go with it. Try not to push it back. Let it go. And if you get that yawn, you can mark that as a full cycle. Not that you won't go into another cycle, but that really helped me to let myself go into those cycles, knowing that they are not never ending, that they have these units of measurement. Maybe you already know that, but thought I'd share that. I think I want to go right into some I Ching wisdom here and ask the oracle, what do you have for us? What wisdom would you like to share with us now for this new moon? We get hexagram 10, treading, conduct. In one of my books, it says mating with the tiger, which I'll explain in a second. The questions you can ask is, where is the tiger? Now, we've gotten this one before. I kind of love getting this one. Where is the tiger? Because I like the idea of a spirit tiger inside of us, the one who is looking for the prey of desire, looking for the desire that leads us into our connection with spirit as if it is inevitable, stalking, being courageous with the power of the tiger to discover one's inner self. Imagine you're seeking, you're longing as a tiger. So again, the question, where is the tiger? Do you know how to work with such power? There are tigers in the outer world and also inner tigers. As you get close, it's good to recognize the tiger for what it is. Is this an outer tiger? Is it an inner tiger? And can I tell the difference? Treading the tiger's tail, whether inner or outer, is perilous. Yet if you can move in harmony with it, I'm thinking about me talking about using the harmony of different time slots in my life to create harmony with the moment. You can invite the tiger's power into your own life as protection, as fertility, and as blessing. To do this without getting bitten, without getting bitten, requires both skill and care. Look to the power and intensity you're drawn to in the situation. Its specific danger is there, and also its potential gift. The intensity very often is your relationship to your own desire. And I'd like to read this. Treading is the figure of the joyous dancer, the young ancestress Wu, who goes out to the mountain shrine to mate with the tiger spirit and sky. She calls the spirit down. So imagine your grounded material self calling the spirit down. So the dancer calls the tiger spirit down. She's an intermediary, a person who can make the invisible visible, who dances to call down the bright spirits into her body, a skilled technician of the sacred. She exorcises demons and prays for blessings, long life, wealth, health, fertility, and the power and virtue that ennobles a life lived according to the mandate from heaven that she carries. There's something here about knowing that your soul has a purpose, not a specific purpose, but a purpose of singing the song of this individual self, that purpose of being fully, uniquely yourself in the world. That is purpose. And that is the mandate from heaven. And continually dancing with that tiger of the power of that specificity, that you are such a specific moment in the universe, the power of dancing with that tiger is the challenge or expression of being alive. It's the real heart of the artist, drawing the invisible into the visible. The artist, the creator, the one who uses the full facility of their human experience. We get changing line 1 and 5. Changing line 1 tells us to take the right next step and have simplicity in your behavior. And hexagram 5, I think, relates to this new moon. If you do not have a real commitment in your heart, you should re-examine your path. If you listen to astrologers right now, they will tell you, I think, that this is a moment, this new moon is a moment to really call in what you want and get your wanting aligned with your being. And if that's not aligned, this is a good time to discover that. What is it that I really want? Do I need to refocus my desires right now? Sometimes we'll desire something that we think is possible, like dream small, because we think, well, what I really want isn't possible. I can't imagine all the details that would have to come together to make that dream happen. So I'll dream a little different. It's like dreaming askew. It's like I have this dream of this little meditation hut. I can see it in my mind. I can see it. And it's just going to require some execution. And if I didn't believe I could do it, I might be like, I guess it could be like a half nest thing instead of the full like meditation hut that I'm dreaming of. And we're not supposed to dream of the half nest. We want the whole thing. And just imagine that you don't know how it's all going to come together, but it doesn't mean that you don't sit in the wholeness of the dream and the desire. And that, I think, is the power of this moment, this new moon, is not of doing anything, but sitting deep into the knowing that the dream, however big and impossible it is for you. And you don't have to do anything about it, but stay with it. Don't abandon it. And as you stay with it, you'll hear the sounds that draw you into the right place to be, to receive it. We're not culturally adept at receiving. And so this is a moment to practice, express what it is to receive well. Sometimes it's just like a lot of thank you, grateful to be here, thank you, breathing, receiving, getting ourselves aligned. Like imagine yourself being I'm seeing a net that goes under a trapeze, and make yourself start weaving that net bigger and bigger, and of the particular material or like the size of the hole is exactly right to catch your dream, even though someone else's dream might go right through that same net. Does that make sense? So you are getting yourself, you're weaving the net of receptivity to receive your very particular, gorgeous, individual dream. It's not like anyone else's, it's just yours. And it's important to get that weaving right. And the weaving is not a doing, it's a being. So line 5 says, your treading or your conduct or your being embodies who you are. What you choose declares your identity. When you decide to be fully present in everything you do, with nothing grudging or half-hearted, you make this your life. Constancy on this path is dangerous. When you are highly individualistic, you may not fit in so well. People who are less sensitive to their surroundings and to whatever isn't a part of their own identity are not so easy to relate to. I think it might be a good time in these next few days to announce to yourself your dream. Get a little bit more familiar if you're not already. Say it out loud, even into an empty space. Let your dreams have a wholeness around you so they don't feel so pushed off into the corners and the edges of your reality. The hexagram moves to 64, not yet across. How to prepare for the crossing. How will you know when it's time? It's an image of a small fox crossing the water. And it's like watching the river has been frozen and the fox is watching for the right time to cross the river without falling in. And it's just an interesting moment. It's the very end of the hexagrams, the I Ching, before it begins again at the beginning. So this gives an indication of the end of a cycle, beginning a new something, but being thoughtful, being careful in this moment of not yet across to the true new beginning. So give yourself a lot of compassion right now as you dream and plan and receive the, what's the word? There's a better word than I can pull out of me right now, but receive the map of your dream and bringing that into reality. When you are not yet across, you may be hesitating on the verge of a transition, trying to tell whether it's safe to commit yourself. It's time to use the skills of a wise fox who only attempts to cross when there's solid ice on the river, and then picks her way over carefully, every sense alert. We are poised at the entrance of transition, readying ourselves to embark on a new journey. There's one more thing I need to add here. As you lean into receptivity with these dreams, the one thing that you can offer by doing whatever time traveling you need, forward or back, is to offer a sense of absolute approval for this expression of desire, dream, creativity in your life. And that often is the thing that it like puts barbs into the receptivity of our dreams that we often can develop or borrow shame around desire. And so right now, it's really important to bring in or cultivate, it's like opening a funnel of approval, validation, acceptance, almost as if you can already feel this dream materialized. So from the very beginning, you're offering validation and approval and acceptance to the thing that is not yet across. Does that make sense? Very much like the fetus being given approval, appreciation, acceptance before it even arrives. This is not a problem. This is a great joy coming into your life. I think that's a good place to end. You can always reach out to me at www.annheadley.com. You may notice that I'm changing the base of where I'm landing. I'm going to move this podcast over to Substack, hoping it's a softer landing place and gives me a place to offer just a little bit of community around the podcast. Hopefully it will make no difference to you, and you will still find me in all the places you ever found me before. And also, if you subscribe to Substack, it'll just feel good. That would be nice. So you might find your way there. It will also be linked in the show notes here. So find me on Substack. You can find me on my website. You can also find me on YouTube. That's part of my dream, is to be a little bit more accessible. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for being receptively awake and listening to your own dreams and to mine. May you be well. May you know peace. May all beings everywhere, whether known to me and us or not, may they be well, and may they know peace. Bye for now.